Today, we step into the darker corridors of the male psyche. Not the place where words are spoken upon, but the place where words are avoided, where emotion wears armor, where silence becomes a strategy, where regret lives not in confessions, but in hesitation, in delayed messages, in long stares at a phone that never rings. This is not about whether he misses you. This is about when the missing begins to haunt him, and more importantly, how he hides it. Because when an avoidant man regrets losing you, he doesn't declare it. He leaks it through forgetfulness, through irritation, through moments when your name almost escapes his lips. And no one understood this hidden war better than Carl Gustav Jung. He taught us that what is unconscious is never truly lost. It waits, quietly, patiently, until one day it erupts, in dreams, in mistakes, in longing he no longer understands. So let's walk through the regret timeline, not in hours, not in days, but in psychological phases, each one peeling back another layer of the man he never let you see. Phase 1. The illusion of relief. At first, he feels light, like someone who's been released from a prison of connection, of intimacy, of emotional accountability. Freedom, he says. Space. Finally. He breathes it in like oxygen. But don't be fooled. This relief isn't a sign of peace. It's a mask, a facade carefully built over years of fearing closeness. For him, intimacy was a mirror, and what he saw in it, his need, his fear, his vulnerability, was too much to bear. So he celebrates your absence as if it were victory. He tells himself it's better this way. But as Jung said, what you resist persists. And what he's resisting is not you. It's the self that awakens in your presence. The self that wanted to be known, but never learned how to stay open. Phase 2, the rise of the echo. Days turn to weeks. He moves through life untouched, emotionally disengaged. He is on the surface fine, but then it happens. A scent, a song, a scene that reminds him of you. And something breaks the stillness, a feeling he cannot explain. Not quite sadness, not yet longing, but a crack in the wall. He brushes it off, calls it nostalgia, shrugs it away, but it returns. And each time, it lingers longer. This is when the echo begins, not of your voice, but of his own soul, whispering what he tried not to feel. Phase 3, the mirror of memory. Now the memories come uninvited, not the ones of passion, but the ones of stillness, of how you looked at him when he was unguarded, of how you didn't try to change him, you only asked him to feel. And here's the paradox. That terrified him. He sees it now, not through logic, but through an ache in his chest he can't soothe. This is when regret begins to take form, not in apologies, but in insomnia, in avoiding places you used to go, in the way his chest tightens at the sound of your name. He doesn't call it regret yet, but he knows. He knows he left something real behind. Phase 4, the haunting of absence. Time now passes, not in days, but in milestones. Your birthday, his promotion, a funeral he attended alone. He wants to share it. He reaches for his phone. He stares at your contact name, but he doesn't dial. Why? Because the shame has arrived. Who is he to show up now, to speak after all that silence? And yet, your presence remains just under the surface, like a ghost that doesn't frighten him, but reminds him of everything he ran from. This is the haunting, not supernatural, but deeply human. He begins to realize he didn't lose you by accident. He pushed you away because to stay would have meant standing naked in emotional truth. And he wasn't ready. As Jung would say, he denied the anima, his inner feminine, his capacity to connect, to merge, to soften. And in denying her, he denied you. Phase 5, the search without direction. Now the body remembers what the mind tries to forget. He tries to replace the feeling. New flings, short bursts of connection. But they all fall flat. Why? Because they don't challenge him, they don't see through him, they don't make him feel alive in his truth. And that's when the regret deepens. It's no longer about losing you, it's about losing the version of himself that only came alive in your presence. Now he is chasing ghosts. Your ghost, his ghost, the man he might have become if he hadn't let fear win. Phase 6, the inner collapse. This phase isn't visible. You won't see it on his social media. You won't hear about it from friends. But inside, something is breaking open. He begins to question everything, his defenses, his story, his avoidance. The pain becomes unbearable, not because he wants you back, but because he finally realizes he never truly showed up. This is the initiation. The first step on the path Jung called individuation. The painful shedding of false selves to become whole. He may seek therapy, or finally write the letter he never sends. He may say nothing. But inside, the boy who was afraid has started to confront the man he's supposed to become. Phase 7, the silent redemption. Some avoidant men stop here. They bury the regret, build new lives on top of old wounds, and carry the ache for years. But the brave ones, they return, not always to rekindle, but to redeem. I see it now, he might say. I didn't know how to love you, but you showed me what love looked like. This isn't manipulation, it's revelation. And even if the chapter can't be rewritten, the truth has finally emerged from the unconscious. As Jung said, only the wounded physician heals. Through his own pain, he begins to evolve, and that, ironically, may be your greatest gift to him. Final reflections, what you need to know. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means that if you're lying awake at night, wondering if he ever looks back, he does. Not with ease, not with clarity, but with a quiet weight that settles deeper as time goes on. Avoidant men don't process loss like others. They don't cry at the goodbye. They don't send late-night texts filled with apologies. They withdraw, convincing themselves they're better off alone, that connection was too much, that you were just a passing chapter. But memory is not kind to avoidance. It loops, it lingers, it waits until the noise dies down and whispers the truth. And the truth is, you were unforgettable, not because you were flawless, but because you were real, present, loving, willing to stay when he couldn't. And one day when the silence is loud and the new faces feel hollow, he will feel it. Not just your absence, but the cost of it. So hold your head high. You were not a footnote in his story. You were the turning point. The moment he saw what love could be and wasn't ready to receive it. And that kind of regret, it doesn't fade. It transforms him from the inside out.